Adaptability is the key to success.
Enemy troops are attacking Objective Alpha.
Don't call me mister. Call me doctor.
movies and turn them into horror, starting with WALL-E. We start off with WALL-E himself. First, I separate WALL-E from the background because it makes everything easier to work with. I'll do the same with the text. His hand, well, it's more like a spatula, no? Anyways, his hand goes completely because that spot is about to become something else entirely. I bring in an image of a spear, trim away part of the bottom, and slot it right where his hand used to be. Now, instead of a hand, WALL-E is holding a weapon. Next, I bring in a man with a shocked expression, and his head is about to end up on the end of the spear. Once he's in place, I'll color correct him so he actually blends into the scene. I break up a few different elements in the image so I can slide a moon in behind everything later. That moon matters because it tells you WALL-E is on Earth, and what he is doing to us humans is just cruel. Then I'll bring in a woman lying on her back, and she gets the same color treatment as the man. I start adding shading to her to help her sit naturally in the lighting. After that, I take one of WALL-E's eyes, duplicate it, and flip both of them around. Instead of looking innocent, he now looks sinister. I do not know why, but I'm getting scared looking at him like this. With both eyes flipped, the tubes connecting to him come up short, so I stretch him back into place to reconnect everything. I have an idea. What if we put an arm on the ground, right where WALL-E's tire is about to roll over? I'll push the arm down just enough so the tire lands directly on top of it. Then I add shading so it looks like it's really being crushed. Then I'll also add some blood right after because, well, that has to do a lot of damage. To sell it even more, I bend both ends of the arm slightly upward, that way it looks like something heavy just rolled over it, which it did. Then I'll add blood onto the man and onto WALL-E himself. After that, I'll add blood veins onto the man's eyes, and for an impaled head, he looks very much alive, so let me just desaturate the skin. The woman on the floor gets the same treatment. Then I'll add highlights on all three, the woman, the man, and the arm to tie the lighting together. To finish it off, blood drips from the man's neck down onto WALL-E, which looks absolutely disgusting, and then I'll...
Today, I'm gonna build a working Lego car wash, and then we're gonna test it out on the dirtiest Lego cars to see if it actually works. And specifically for this video, I got the original F40 Lego Ferrari. Wow. I may have had a little bit of fun with it. You know, it really doesn't drive that well in the mud. So we're gonna build a Lego car wash to see if we can restore these to looking brand new. The first step is to build up the base with a track that can actually pull the cars across. At least that's the plan. Let's see if it works. I think if we make our car wash about that long, it should be good. And then I'm gonna leave a little 2-stud gap in between each of these plates. That way we can put our grabbers in here that are gonna grab the car tires and bring them across through the car wash, okay? So that should work really good. Now we just gotta build the bottom of this up with a couple bricks to make it a cohesive base. Here we go. All right, here we go. Ta-da! Cool, so now we got the base. We just need to build a track that's gonna pull each car through the car wash. And for that, we're gonna use these treads. We just have to integrate a long tread on the bottom, I'm thinking, that's motorized. Then we can build 2 sticks that kind of come up and hook behind the tires to pull it across. We can now attach a motor to one of these axles and make this move. Boom. Look at that. It's moving way too fast. Look at that. And we're moving. It's actually probably almost the perfect speed. We can like turn it on and off so it can stop at different stations, but that'll give it a lot of torque, as you can see, like that. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really great. And while I'm here, I'm just gonna build this one more time so that we have 2 of them that work. If we put our car right on here like so, and we switch this treads on, it's gonna come around and slide right behind the front wheels. Catches the tires. Beautiful. Okay, it's a little rough, but it works. And that'll slide it all the way across to the other side. Ah, I love it when it comes together. And then once we get to the other side here, those should just disappear right back underneath. And as you can see, the process will repeat on the bottom end. To make it so the water doesn't leak everywhere, I've also bought this garden tray, and I installed this simple sink drain right here that should drain all the water into our 5-gallon bucket. And this should fit our base perfectly. That's perfect. Now to hold the rest of our mechanisms that are gonna make this car wash functional, we need to actually build up a frame over the track to hold all the mechanisms that are gonna make this thing work. For any working car wash, we're gonna need a water source. And for that, I've decided to go a different route than I usually do, which is building a Lego water pump. If we take this thing, which will attach to a hose and give us a little flow nozzle, and connect that to this little shark bite adapter, we can then connect a large hose, like so, and at the end of this, put a cap. And now that we have this, we can attach it to our hose, and then attach this to Lego pneumatic tubes. All right, here we go.
Am I the only one who's turning old TVs into snail tanks?
I found this old TV on Facebook Marketplace and I thought it would make a great new home for the snails in our studio. So I took out all the electronics and I added this tank that I made out of acrylic, and
All I have to do is open this valve, and theoretically, it sort of works. Okay. It is spraying out of there though. Why is this connector leaking so much? Alright, so we're going a completely different direction. Let's see how this guy works. Hey, if you're enjoying this so far, please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel a ton, and I work super hard to bring these projects to you guys as often as I can. Now back to the project. Finally, we can install our pump in this guy. To control the water flow from our pump, I built a few of these simple on-off valves. And basically what this does is just kinks the hose so that no more water can flow through it by bending it up against this red piece right here. And you can turn that off and on pretty easily. This is actually way harder than I thought to make this. I went through like 6 variations with motors and none of them really worked. And as you can see, we have 4 of those for each of the different sections in the car wash. And the first 2 are these cool little articulating arms. And to make these rotate, we can just connect them to a camshaft on a worm gear like this. Then you can see what happens when we activate our motor. And they just move up and down like that. That's perfect, there we go. Let's just add one more of those to the other side. There we go. All right, that's working pretty good. This is the first section of the car wash, so this is gonna just give it like a pre-wash. We should probably put up a few of these little plastic barriers right here. There we go, that looks good. Let's do a quick test, make sure this works. I'm just gonna turn on the valve. If we turn on our motors, we open up these 2, they should start spraying. There we go, there we go. Hey, it's working, let's go. That's not even full power, I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, wow, this thing's absolutely soaked already. No major leakage. I think this is gonna work, you guys. Now on to the next section right here, which is a little bit of a rain shower. So I built up this kind of thing, and this is just a tube with a bunch of little T-nozzles so that the water will come out at different angles around the car. And I'm just gonna hang this guy right in here. That thing actually looks pretty good right there. Oh, it's going. Dude, this is gonna be so cool when this thing actually is finished. All right, next step is to add some brushes to actually rotate and move around the car, and that'll help us scrub the dirt off the car as it's moving through it. For that, I'm gonna use microfiber towels. These things are really nice. We can actually clean off our table from the last build here because they absorb water really well. And I saw this video on YouTube where this guy made a model car wash and just turned these into those rolly brushes by cutting a bunch of little strips. So after some mild experimentation, this is what we're gonna make. As you can see, it's shedding fluff everywhere. And we'll hook these up to different motors that move on tracks so they go back and forth while the car is running through and really scrub it. To make one of these, it's actually pretty simple. You start with your microfiber towel, and you're gonna go on the side that has the tag and cut off 2 pieces, making sure to keep the edge of this thing here, because that seam is gonna hold the whole thing together. And now that you have these guys, you're gonna remove your tag, and then just cut strips all the way to the seam here. We're gonna do that all the way down. These will create the different flaps that'll hit the car and actually clean the surface. All right, and then once we have 2 of those, we're gonna build up a long stick out of these 2x2 round bricks. I'm gonna use about 15 of those. Perfect. And then the last step here is to glue on these guys. And I'm using hot glue. Don't use super glue because it'll light on fire. And we're just gonna put a little dab right there and wrap this with the flappy parts facing down, okay? Just like so. So we'll glue it on there. And we're gonna make a nice little spiral around this. Just like that. Last step is just to take this thing and spin it, and there we have a brush roller, just like that. Look at that, that's perfect. So now we gotta motorize our brushes, and this one is going to go over the top of the vehicle, so it's gonna need the ability to lift and be kind of pushed over as it rolls. So let's add a few lift arms to the side of this little axle, and then on one side of this, we'll add a motor. Let's see how this works. All right, guys, now check this out. This guy drives through, and as you can see, it scrubs, and it should raise above the window. That should scrub all the dirt off the top of this car perfectly. Now we just gotta make 2 more brushes on the sides that spin, and we'll move back and forth on each side of the car. All right, guys, here's what I got for the prototype for this. Now, we know it needs to move side to side, so I built this little worm rack. It's got these little gear racks here like so, and then if we put this little Technic assembly with a gear right on top of it, we should be able to drive this thing from side to side. It's actually pretty strong and sturdy, and it's not gonna fall out. And the nice thing is it's moving just slow enough, I think, for what we need. And then we just have to attach our brush kind of coming out and over so it'll spin by the car. Hey, there we go, guys. The only problem with this assembly is that now our motor is directly by the water. And and that's not ideal. So we're gonna have to move that. I think we just need to make a few modifications and we can install this in our car wash. All right guys, so now as you can see, what we do is we take our brush here, and this thing, this little gear right here, will just slot in with our gear rack on the other side of this. And then this thing will just snap in. And you can see if we hook this up to our battery box, it will move and spin the brush at the same time. Look at that, right down the track. This thing is pretty strong as well because of that worm gear. It's kind of hard to hold it back. So this should give us just enough pressure to clean off the car.
The first step to hiding a geocache is to make sure that you're ready.
I'm good to go. Let's hide this thing. Boom, hidden.
Slow down there, champ. Hiding a geocache takes time and commitment so that geocachers can find it for years to come. A good way to gain experience is by finding more geocaches. Finding about 100 geocaches before your first hide will help you figure out what you like and don't like, and gather some great ideas.
Woo! I know so much more now. What's next?
Next up, let's find a spot that's right for your geocache.
What about right here? This spot looks pretty cool.
Apparently, you're not the only one who had that idea. Geocaches have to be at least 1/10 of a mile away and in a place where geocaches are allowed.
How about this tree nook? It's safe, easily accessible, and perfect for a geocache.
It looks like a great spot, but your container is a little lacking. What we have here are a few examples of great geocache containers. Whatever you choose should be durable, waterproof, and well labeled. Add a logbook, and you're good to go.
Decisions.
After you make your pick, we'll go hide it. When placing your geocache, make sure you get accurate coordinates, take note of the difficulty and terrain ratings, and remember your geocache's size.
Let's hope so. We'll put the identical brush on this side as well. It'll also be helpful to have a couple pieces that hold this in so it doesn't come undone. And you'll notice I've added these weird rubber bands right here, and that is for this piece of the pump. And this is just a 3-nozzle setup that'll spray water, but I wanted it to be able to hook on to both of these and kind of move with them as they go across the car. And the rubber bands are there so that it has the freedom to flex depending on where these are, because these are gonna move separately. And this guy can move like this in any direction depending on where both of these are. So if we have one of these moving, it'll still be oriented in the right direction, and it'll be able to flex just a little bit with those rubber bands I put there. There's just a few more brushes I want to put on this. I decided to take our over-the-top brush and actually hang it from this frame. I just think it'll be a little bit easier. And then I built these two kind of rotating wheel washers, and these are really simple. They're just connected directly to the motor, so nothing really special there. I have a special announcement to make. We are making a Brick Science Plus building course that's going to teach you everything you need to know to become a master LEGO inventor. And this is currently set to launch in just a few months at the end of September. But I want to give you guys a special opportunity. If you join the waiting list using the link in the description, you'll get a discount when it actually comes out. I put a bunch of hours into this curriculum, and every episode in the course is going to teach you how to become a master LEGO inventor. And we're going to go through all the major LEGO techniques, and there's also going to be cool experiments in every one of the videos. So for that, I have a very particular idea for the mechanism, and get on that waiting list, because you're not going to want to miss the special offer. Back to work. You know what this needs is a soap dispenser. That would be cool. So for that, I have a very particular idea for the mechanism, and it requires a small spray bottle. As you can see, I got this small spray bottle here, and this one has a very smooth plunger. And I bought it specifically like that because the movement we're going to need to motorize is this pressing down motion, like this. So let's fill this up with soap. We're gonna have to keep the electronics dry somehow in this video, and I'm still working on that part. But now that we got our soap, as you can see, this will spray onto our car a bunch of times. So we need this to just constantly spray like this to shoot the soap out. It's the worst spray bottle ever. There we go. It's an atomizer, as you can see. So my first idea to get this motion is to take our motor and battery box, wait till it's dried off a little bit, and then put a little gear on the front of this here. Because if we do that by just attaching this little axle right here, we can now motorize our gear, and that spins like so. And what we can do is turn this gear into something known as a cam. As you can see, it's moving up and down relative to this axle here. So if we put a spray bottle or something like this on the bottom, it should start spraying. But I think we're gonna need a more powerful motor. Can we push this slow? So let's do a little gear ratio and use this upgraded motor, which is bigger, and we'll see what that can do for us. Come on. It's really, really close. We just need to get it to push straight. Sort of working. Also, this thing is always going at an angle, which we don't want. So, all right, and here we have our finished soap actuator. Check this out. Flick the switch, and it sprays just like so. Oh, and as you can see, we also added this, and this basically just keeps the spraying head aligned so it always shoots forward. And that seems to work really well. I'm just gonna take this and orient it face down right in this area, and we should be able to just snap this into those Technic bricks that are already there. Cool, there we go. Well, let's add some place to this to keep it locked down. That is perfect, you guys. To power all the dryers at the end of the car wash, I thought we could use this portable air pump. And what's really nice about this is it has a little rubber adapter here. So if we put that on there, the air blows through it. So we'll add our air pump right here to the end of the build. We can lock that in with a few bricks on top like this. And these things, if we rotate them over, should keep this from falling out. Cool, okay. And with all that, we're finally ready to test this guy out. First, I just want to measure it to see how long it is. So we'll use our handy stud measure here. This is 128 studs long, and then height, if we flip this guy around, 26 bricks. By the way, guys, you can get your stud measure using the link in the description. It's the tape measure for Lego builders. I designed it myself. You can measure in studs and bricks. We've got a Ferrari F40. We're gonna load it in the bay here, and we're gonna wash this thing. We're gonna kind of run the car forward a little bit, just using our little remote here, and that'll bring it into the wash, just like that. And we can start spraying it with our pre-wash here. And that's gonna spray soap on top of the car like so. Just like that. Look at that, it even pulls it backwards. Gee, this would be a doozy for your transmission though. Wow. That is some sticky soap. And then we can open this valve to get our pre-wash. There we go. Oh, we're going. Something's spraying towards me. I don't know what it is, but there we go. Nice. And we can close that down. We'll bring it back again. Nice. Hey, it's working good so far, so that's a plus. We have these little valves right here, these little nozzles. There we go. And spray across there. There we go. We're really cleaning the car off. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. It is getting water everywhere, but it's definitely spraying the car off. And then we can drive the car forward at the same time to spray it off like that. That's not a good sign. Uh-oh. We had a tread brake. I do want to point out something. Our drainage system is working phenomenally. As you can see, it's all just dripping down into this tray, and then this will go down here into this bucket. So that's good. We'll bring it forward just a little bit. And now we can start our brushes. Okay, here we go. These two levers. And those will go across the car. And it is scrubbing the side, check it out. That's actually working pretty well. We're just gonna do the best we can, get this car as clean as possible, but it's definitely working to get the mud off, which is really cool to watch. This is a car wash if I've ever seen one. Let's close that valve. Now let's go right back over the car, and then we'll bring it through this next section, which is going to lift up and scrub the top of it, essentially. So here we go. Let's drive it through here, and this will be the tunnel we're gonna go through. We're gonna pop on this lever. Oh, it fell. There we go. And wash the top of it. Yeah, there we go. Kind of angle it like that. And it's working. It's just totally buffing the sides of that there. Dude, heck yeah. All right, now, final step. We turn on the air blower and then blow dry it. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. That's not doing anything. Check it out, guys. Look at how much cleaner that is. Like, the sides are fully mud-free, well, except for this little area above the window. But hey, it actually worked. Let's take out our car here. Dun, dun, dun. Look at that. I mean, I didn't scrub this or nothing. That was the car wash. Wow, and we only got water over like half the studio. This is almost restored to its former glory. I wish there was a little bit more cleaning on the back, but we got a few more cars to test. Next up, let's see what it does for our muddy Volkswagen and start up our soap sprayer. All right, let's bring it through. Now we're getting the hang of it. Look at that. Just move it a little slow. Keep rinsing it off here. All right, here we go. Now let's turn on our brushes and run them forward. See what we can do here. Just turn this off. And then we can run these in opposite directions and turn on our oversprayer. just like that. Let's cut this guy. And then we can turn on our next section, which is like the rainbow thing. Boom, there we go. We're going through. It's doing pretty good. You can see here, it's really rinsing that mud off. Check it out. All right, here we go. This is the last section of the wash. It looks like it's doing a pretty great job, actually. Come on, you can make it. Uh-oh, uh-oh, oh no. The blue brush got stuck on this little rack on top of the car. Pull it forward, there we go. Get that little buff on the sides there. And that's it. Wow. Ta-da! We got one more car to put through here, and this one, I'm gonna load up our U-Block crash test dummy